Hi, this is Tolec for the Andromeda Council and Transformational Shift Events. Today is Sunday, May 5th, 2019. Welcome. So thank you for joining us. I have with me today, and I'm honored to have with me today, a very special friend and guest, Trinity, of Trinity Heart Source Healing, a multimodality healing practice, and she's located here in beautiful Sedona, Arizona. So Trinity, you've been here in beautiful Sedona, Arizona for about a year and a half. Are you enjoying your time in this sacred part of Arizona?
Oh yes, I love it here. It's been really great.
Yeah, I from the many times we've visited with each other, I recognize that you live in a very beautiful part of Sedona, not uptown, not where all the commercialism is, but in West Sedona. What's really special about this spot that you're in?
I really like that the place I found, it's at a little higher elevation. Lots of, I can see views of many of the sacred red rocks around us. I like being in West Sedona just because I'm closer to the edge of town and it feels closer to nature.
Great. Okay. I also have seen your backyard and the beautiful cedar and juniper trees there. We're having a conversation recently about some of the little critters that are back there. Can you tell me about some of the things that you've seen that you might be able to describe as interdimensional or higher? Yeah, interdimensional, I think is a good word.
Yes. There's lots and lots of elementals in the area. And I've noticed, of course, not only when you're out on the trails and in the forest, but they like to come up on the edge of our homes and keep an eye on us. And I'm in a good spot where I don't directly see any of my neighbors, and there are lots of trees and flowers and manzanita and wonderful things around.
Yeah, it is a beautiful, sacred, quiet spot. Alrighty, so your practice, your healing practice, is called Trinity Heart Source Healing. Would you tell the listeners, please, the kind of different modalities that you use and maybe why you've chosen these specific modalities?
I have quite a few different ones, but my main ones are the Theta healing and the quantum healing hypnosis technique. But I also do beyond quantum healing, which is another hypnosis technique. There's also, I'm a Reiki master, and I'm also attuned in several other, a variety, I should say, of Reiki forms. Let's see. I've got sound healing certifications. I love the singing bowls and the Tibetan bowls. I also, let's see here. It just all kind of comes together when someone comes to visit, so I don't have to think about the separating things out as much.
Well, there may be some people who've not yet heard about what makes QHHT distinct. And so if you wouldn't mind, can you share with people what QHHT is and maybe your version of it and how you practice it?
Yes. QHHT stands for Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, and it was developed by Dolores Cannon. She started out in the field long ago and brought it to the forefront for many people. It's using a hypnosis technique where you can, everyone is so different. Some people go to past lives, some present, some parallel, some go to future lives. You're shown basically what you need to see at the time. It's a form of healing. We can also access the higher self to have questions answered, as well as do healing there, either through the higher self, angels, guides, source, all of the above.
Okay. All right. Okay, that makes really good sense, and I'm glad to hear that you're using a blending of modalities to help your clients, which makes me ask, you've been doing this probably for a while, and I'm sure you have some pretty interesting clients and situations that have come up over the years. Why don't you share with me and share with people listening some of your most interesting, maybe most compelling client experiences that you've been blessed to have?
Okay. One that I thought was pretty, well, they're all amazing, but one that it was fun too. I had a client, she went back in time to the Old West, and she was a saloon owner, very well respected, businesswoman in town.
Okay.
And
did you get a sense it was here in Arizona or Texas?
It was probably Western Kansas, actually.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yes.
And that was the West back then.
It was.
Yeah, sure.
It was. It's different points of time.
Yeah.
And she happened to describe the horse that she was riding that she tied up in front of the saloon. And she is someone who works with animals, and it happened to be that her horse at that time was the same horse that she has with her now.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And we found out that that horse has been with her in multiple lifetimes, and they're kind of like a healing team for others, and as well as being there to support each other.
Okay.
So that was
interesting.
Kind of a very fun revelation.
Yeah. All right.
And she swore when she came home after the session that her horse looked at her differently, like she knew, like it had opened memories up for both of them. Just a fun, yes.
And I take it in this lifetime she also has a very close connection with her horse.
Absolutely.
Okay, got it.
Absolutely, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What else do you have?
I also had someone recently that she came in wanting to connect closer to the ancestors and the land.
Okay.
And during her session, she ended up by this beautiful lake where the aurora borealis was reflecting on the lake, and the ancestors were up in the aurora borealis for her. And we were able to ask questions and get responses from the ancestors and guidance on ways that she can work with them in the land.
I'm just curious, was this young woman native, so that her ancestors were native or indigenous?
Not in this lifetime.
Not in this lifetime.
No, but she is in an area where there's a lot of Native Americans, and she lives very closely with the land and the animals. Interestingly enough, horses as well this time.
Okay. Alrighty.
And ended up doing a soul pieces retrieval and some other healings. She was also guided to some different points and conversations that she had had with people recently that gave her insights into manifestation for herself.
Okay.
She was given the infinity sign and some other things. So
tell me, if you would please, tell me about the soul pieces retrieval, that aspect of her life, and if you would, some details about why that was important to her.
Well, I just got the intuitive hit that I needed to do that. So I ended up taking her back to where the ancestors were and asked them if I should do a soul retrieval with her, and they said yes. So that was my confirmation. Okay. So, well, she saw, and I saw both, certain darker energies leaving and shinier, brighter pieces coming in. So
of this current life?
Yes. Okay. So whether those, I'm assuming it felt like to me that it was pieces and parts from past lives that we were collecting and bringing back to her that she was ready for and needed at this time.
Got it. Got it. So sort of a reintegration of...
Yes. Yes.
Of different aspects of her oversoul.
Yes. Bringing those parts in again for her to have access to and be able to use because she's ready for them in this lifetime now.
That's great.
Yeah. And we also moved some of the older energy out that was no longer needed and
wasn't serving
not
her.
of use at this time.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Sure. Okay. Wow. All right. All right. What else you got? I know some juicy ones in here.
Let's see. I don't know. I've just got to be witness to some amazing different galactic forms that people have been in. Whether past, present, parallel selves, future.
All right, you must have some examples. So
Yeah.
but before you give them, are most of them, this humanoid form that we have, or are they considerably different? But go ahead and tell me what.
Some have been humanoids, some have not.
Okay.
Some have been pure energy. In fact, skipping back a little bit,
Sure.
one person, she was missed.
By
And-
her people?
MIST. She was missed.
Oh, that kind
and
of-
she was over trees,
Wow.
and she was helping take care of the land. And she ended up, another form that she had, I'm assuming this is like a life as an elemental working with Earth,
Okay.
was as rain. So she had this symbiotic relationship
Wow.
with the trees and the land. I've had people be out in space, I guess I'll say, as energy, where they didn't have a formal language or anything. They're just energy, color. They spoke with telepathy.
So no real.
No form.
No form.
No, pure energy.
Wow.
Yeah. I've also had people more humanoid, but like a mer person, like they were aquatic individuals.
Sure. Okay.
So they were humanoid, but not like with the legs completely.
From this planet?
No,
No?
this
Okay.
was Sirius A or Sirius B.
Star
I can't
system.
remember.
Okay.
There's also just been humanoid forms that were composed mostly of energy. I've had someone who went back to Atlantis.
Okay.
Actually, she saw herself entering into the water and then into part of Atlantis. And they were working on blueprints and
Makes sense for Atlantis,
Yeah.
given they were highly technology based.
yes, it was
Sure,
very much
sure.
technological. And she had been out in the galaxy and the universe collecting information needed to bring back to them.
Okay. How about anybody that had gone maybe into the future of our planet? Anybody that's talked about what they've seen?
I haven't had anyone
None of
ask
that.
that or be
Okay.
shown that. And it's interesting because I know some practitioners do,
Right, right.
but
How about anyone maybe that has seen any kind of significant changes here in the U.S.? Like maybe somebody that had been in the San Francisco earthquake or anything of that type?
no, I haven't.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No, that's all. It's really interesting. I've had people see themselves as a young child they grew up by a harbor, and I had someone who, even though they grew up by the harbor, they were supposed to go on a trip, and they didn't get on the ship because it didn't feel right, and the ship
Okay.
ended up sinking.
Wow.
I had someone who was on the Titanic. They remember being high up on part of the ship, and
Okay.
then as the ship cracked and broke,
Yeah.
being flung into the water. So as far as, significant
Wow,
historical
okay.
events, that's
Yeah,
probably the biggest
yeah.
one.
Are these recalls? Because I don't conduct any kind of healing practice, so I'm asking mostly out of ignorance. Are these recalls of those moments in past lives? Do they give the ability for people to say, "Oh, that's why I'm carrying this emotional pain from me losing that life, or me losing a sister, or something"? Does that
Absolutely.
make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
because like one of the people that was shown the ships and the Titanic, she was afraid of water in this life. Completely, totally afraid of water.
There you go.
The person with the connection to the horse, of course, she has that horse in her life now, and we were shown that it was a connection there. People are shown what they need, either what they're wanting. They're not always shown what we want. It's usually what we need, but they're shown and brought to places of healing and insight through this. Is what it does.
So, through the regression, the hypnosis and regression, you're able to tap into the experiences of whoever that person was in a past life.
Mm-hmm.
And,
or future,
or
parallel,
future, right, or parallel, right, or that's
whatever
right,
needs
course,
to be seen. Yeah,
of course. And when you do that, then you're able to tap into the emotional energy that that person was experiencing at that moment or those moments, which were causing emotional distress.
Yes, we
Okay.
can. If that's
Okay.
what the focal point of that visit is, yeah,
Okay.
we can address that there and release blocks, energy, do healing. One lady came to me, and it was not a typical, even though I conducted it as a QHHT session, it wasn't a typical one in that we went back to a past life where she was very happy, and she had goats. She had, in this life, she had had goats previously and enjoys them. They're, yeah.
So somebody else who lives off the land very much,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Yes, and enjoys nature. But she ended up then being taken and jumped to different points in her present life. And they were points that contributed to like anxiety and not being able to handle situations as well as she wanted.
Sure.
And so given these insights and then the energy of what these emotional energy behind these points in her time were,
Okay.
we were able to do a healing on like her solar plexus area. And
Wow.
she feels much more confident now, feels like she can stand up for herself instead of, retreating.
Right, and letting the anxiety control her decisions.
Oh my goodness,
Right,
yes.
right.
She used to be worried about traveling, with her car, with her plane, work situations, things like that. And she says she just feels so much more confident and doesn't have that anxiety about those situations that she did before.
Generally much more at ease with life.
Yes,
wow.
I think so.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Awesome. So you mentioned in your practice that you often integrate theta healing. And I understand that with this last client we were discussing that you integrated theta healing to help her relieve some of her more unpleasant symptoms in life. So can you tell me how theta healing, how you use that process and what you had her go through as an experience for her and how she felt after?
Certainly. Theta healing uses source energy and the theta brain state. It can do a lot. We can release beliefs, change beliefs, download new ones, emotions. And one thing also is like sending energy or, again, beliefs. We can send those back to source to be changed.
Okay.
And bring in the new
Right.
that we're ready for and that's needed. So like with the one person we just talked about, I was guided to have her concentrate all of the feeling and the color and put it all into a ball. She was feeling it most strongly over her solar plexus. And so we just concentrated all of that into a ball there and then sent that negative energy back to source to be transformed and then brought in Creator's source's unconditional love.
Sure.
And healing and what she needed at that time to help give her the support and reduce the anxiety she was having.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So you've recently also shared with me that you had a situation with family members where there were people involved that they all needed some help at a certain level, and that downloads were involved and were used. Can you share that scenario with me? And I may not be describing it correctly, but go ahead and describe it if you would.
Yes. I was working with someone who she's very intuitive, very tuned in, very knowledgeable, but she was dealing with a family situation that had a high uncomfortable level for her, second guessing herself on decisions that she and her husband would be making.
Okay.
And
so did you engage her and her husband in this session, or was it just her?
It was just her.
Just her? Okay.
It was just her,
Alrighty.
but it was regarding the family where they were dealing with a daughter that was going through some emotional problems and causing a lot of havoc in the home.
Okay.
So, like I said, this person herself, she's very, very tuned in. But through conversation of what she was experiencing in the home and the things that were happening with this other family member and how it was affecting everyone, I was able to use source energy and do some downloads that helped kind of refine what she was experiencing and her outlook, as well as kind of tune up and give her confidence in the feelings that she was having on the steps that needed to be taken for this situation.
Okay.
And we were just able to use source energy and confirm certain beliefs and through downloads. And later she shared that it had made things so much more go smoothly in the family conference they were having. And she and it turned out her husband too were just more confident in what they were,
and the next steps that they would take.
that they needed to take.
Yeah.
It just went more smoothly than what they had anticipated. And I think there was a lot of build up as far as, oh, we have this coming, and we don't want it to be a confrontation and that type of thing.
So it sounds like the modalities that you used, including the downloads, gave her a sense of calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it just helped fine-tune and reconfirm her own intuition and feelings she was having about the situation.
Sure.
And this is all through creator of all that is, or source energy doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's theta healing.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right. So, Trinity, this has been an amazing conversation, and thank you for sharing those scenarios of your different clients and what they've been through, and more specifically, how good they feel when they're walking out of here, after you finish your sessions with them. So we're both here in Sedona, and we're both quite well aware of the fact that Sedona is a place full of healers of different varieties and types. Would you share with people what makes your process different, and in terms of why you're unique and how you can uniquely help people? I think would be helpful for people to know.
I think one of the things that I can offer is the fact that since I do have so many modalities, that you may come in for QHHT, but if we need to do Reiki or Theta healing to enhance that, we can. If you come in for Theta healing, and I may get information that maybe a hypnosis session would help, or maybe we need to run energy more in a traditional Reiki form instead of
Sure.
as we would in Theta healing. I get I'm just intuitively guided to pull in these different things, and sometimes it's hard to put labels on them because there's always new things coming in. So I'm able to take these modalities, and as I'm intuitively guided, to combine them or use them as needed. It allows me to not just be stuck in one thing, but to just basically provide wherever and however I'm guided.
So an integrated approach based on your intuition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes good sense. All right. And so I think this has been an amazing first session, and I want to thank you for joining me. I'm sure that there will be some people who will be more curious or maybe would like to contact you for a session. Can you share with people, please, how to best contact you and how to learn about you, at least at this moment in time?
One of the best ways right now is I'm on quantumhealers.com, and you can reach me through message there. It also has my phone number and email. As far as email directly, you can reach me at trinityintuition@gmail.com.
Okay.
And I will have a new website soon,
Yes, you will.
trinityheartsourcehealing.com,
Okay.
for all ways to find me.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining me.
Thank you.
Have a great week. This has been a great first session. I'm sure we'll do it again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Many blessings to you all. Have a great week. Take care.